In very simple, in literal terms, you know, it's about a mother and a son who don't have a great relationship, and they go on this road trip together, and they get to know each other better, basically. And there's more layered intellectual answers I could give, but I won't. The truth is, I'd never just seen like a comedy about a son and a mother before. Really, I mean, and to me that just seemed like such a quintessential relationship, and the script was really funny. So I think that's what's funny about it, though. I think is that it's a comedy about this relationship that you just haven't seen a lot of movies about in general.
To me, it is a different kind of love story. It's a love story between a mother and a child, a mother and a son, especially, and how they get to really know one another and get to appreciate one another by the end of the trip. Pack a lot of different kind of clothes for different climates.
Yeah, just don't do it. It's probably no.
That's funny.
You can maybe
Just
do it.
don't do it?
It depends on your
No,
relationship.
you really get
yeah.
to know one another is the point. You find out
Yeah.
like when people have to pee, you know.
Exactly.
You know,
You can
what
find
they
out the
like to
urinary
stop.
patterns of your
That's
mother
right.
or son.
And you know, what they want to eat, where they want to stop.
Type of
what
snacks they
look at.
like.
Right,
Yeah,
you do.
it's true. Yeah, that bring up.
Hotel rooms, you know.
Yeah, books on tape. Bring a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went. Yeah, when I was like 17, I went on a road trip with my mother. And,
Really?
Yeah, across Israel.
You're kidding
Yeah,
me.
we rented a car and drove around
think
Israel
that's
together.
hysterical.
It was pretty funny, and it's a hard hard country to drive in, but we actually had a really good time.
And got to know each other
We got to
better?
know each other. We had to sleep in the car one night
Really?
and every time we
funny.
checked into a hostel or a hotel, people thought we were a couple, which was disgusting.
Which we have in
Which
this
we have in
movie
the
too.
movie, yeah. Yeah, you get to sit, which is great. I always
Yeah.
I'm looking for that role in a movie where like you're immobile.
You're too young to say that.
I know,
honey.
but I just hate
But
running
I know
around.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah, you just want to sit.
Yeah.
What were funny days
I
during
like them.
filming?
Well, when we came out of the cowboy and we would
Yeah.
improvise.
The stuff in the car actually was kind of fun because
Yeah,
we just got
it
to
was fun.
sit there.
That's
that I
right, and
actually
just
liked
talk.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we went to Vegas, which was kind of.
that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun.
You got
Yeah,
everyone
I gambled.
bagels. Yeah, you
Oh, that's
gambled
right. I had a
bit.
bagel party at
It was
the end.
great. Yeah, I enjoyed
Great
that.
deli.
Those were good bagels.
Those were excellent. Brooklyn bagels.
I went there the other day.
You did?
Yeah. We said we remember those bagels Barbara got us?
Yes. And all the stuff that went with them. What was the most unfunny scene?
Yeah.
Was when I had to eat steak for 3 days.
That was a funny scene for me.
Which you know what? It was on TV the other day. The Texan place.
Oh,
It
really?
looked
The
like
real
I said, I
place?
swear to God,
Yeah.
the real place in Texas, where they have a contest where you have to eat. You get a free meal if you can eat.
If you eat
this
yourself to death, you get a free meal.
72-ounce
Yeah,
steak
that's a good deal.
with a baked potato, everything, just like in the film.
And they give you a bypass for free.
Yeah, that's right. My mother used to come over to where I was. I was filming in the Philadelphia Museum, and she would come with a half of a pint of chicken soup. You know, not the whole pint, a half a cantaloupe. You know, I mean, it was. Later on, I realized, you know, to her, love is food. Food is love. But and I tried to use a bit of that.
Yeah,
In
you
this
fed me a
movie.
lot.
I fed you a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, food is love.
My mother's very embarrassing on a regular basis. She
Yes.
posts stuff on Facebook that's
She does?
humiliating. Yeah, and she's just really, yeah. It's about, yeah. I literally can't even say some of that. She's pretty embarrassing, but she's cool. I think she thinks it's funny some of the time, but she's inappropriate at times.
Really?
Yeah.
Tells dirty jokes. or
Super
what?
dirty. Yeah,
Oh
she'll
my
say
God,
dirty
that's
stuff.
Funny.
Yeah. I think my character is kind of annoyed with Barbara's character a lot throughout the movie, not always for good reason, and that's something that I relate to. I always want to spend time with my parents, and I'm like, I'm just gonna be nice. We're gonna go out for dinner. It's gonna be great. And then I find myself being really, argumentative for no reason. I mean, everyone does have a mother, whether or not you. Scientifically speaking,
Yeah.
you have a mother
That's
if
right.
you are a human being.
That's right.
So it officially makes it the most relatable movie on earth because everyone
right.
in the world has a mother, and this movie's about a mother. So that's why I think everyone will like it.
I love the script for its heart, for its realism. about mother-son and about these two people who thought they knew a lot about each other and didn't know anything about each other, and on the road discover who they are. Mom discovers that he is a man and trying desperately to individuate from his mom and be the man that he needs to be. And she's learned, she's going to have to cut the strings and let him be free. She's everyone's mother. It doesn't matter what age, ethnic background, does not matter. She encapsulates the real mom. And it's Barbara. And she's the only one who could do it. I knew Seth could kill this, and he did. It's such a brilliant and subtle performance, and their chemistry is nuts, so that plays off of each other in such a great way. When he's irritated and she's happy, and they're just kind of flowing like music almost together. And then Seth is so incredibly funny, as Barbara is, but for two totally different reasons, and they just come together to be really, really great. Seth and Barbara have amazing instincts, spot on. They both knew who their characters were very, very well and discovered things not only on their own, but within scenes. Sometimes they'd find little gems that we would just explore and go with. So in a collaborative word, they were incredibly respectful of my vision, what I wanted to do with the movie, and they took that and upped the ante. Dan was a great collaborator. I need somebody next to me who I trust and count on and who's smart to bounce things off of. I'm feeling A, B, and C, and I need you to think about, and he was always there in such a supportive way and so quick to work with me, and he just was a support system. Barbara was so clicked into it that Dan obviously was there every day, and his sister came to set one day and said she's literally channeling Mom. That's how specific she was to being Joyce Vogelman. So all that little work and all those little things, they just start to build in Barbara's head, and then magic comes out.
For me, the movies really was always about the core idea, was about the idea of a mother and a son going on some kind of journey together, where it's that moment in your life, and for some people it happens at a very young age, and for some people it happens at a much later stage of life, where you see your parents as a human being for the first time, as opposed to just this thing that raised you. All of a sudden you say, wow, this is a person, and this is a person with a life and friends and past loves. They existed long before I existed in the world, as hard as that is to fathom. And I thought that was a really interesting idea for a movie, essentially. And in the same way, there's kind of the reversal is true, that moment that every parent has, where they have to kind of, and for some it happens at the right ages, and for some it happens much, much later, but where a parent looks at their kid for the first time and goes, wow, my kid has become a full-fledged human being, and I'm no longer the person that needs to completely our relationship has to evolve. And so on both sides, that was kind of the big idea behind the movie. In the original screenplay, I actually wrote a little note to the reader when I first wrote the script, and I said, as you watch Andy interact with his mother, don't judge him too harshly. Keep in mind of how you overreact to everything your own parents do, and that's the position that Andy's in here. But I always wanted to write a movie about a mother and son. I thought there was something really interesting, about the relationship. I modeled a lot of this movie is very autobiographical, and a lot of it is about my actual mom. And I'd always found her to be a fascinating and unbelievable character in many ways. The character is my mother. I mean, Barbra Streisand was my mom's hero. I mean, this was my mom's ultimate. My mom was a Jewish girl from Brooklyn who grew up idolizing Barbra. And so, yeah, I mean, my mom was not a person that would necessarily know a celebrity, the biggest celebrity in the world, if they walked into a room and had punched her in the face. But Barbra was kind of the end-all, be-all. So from the beginning, that was always the dream. And so great. I mean, for the first and most obvious thing she brings to any film is when you're on set, you can feel kind of the energy of a set is always really good. And even when we're really in the weeds on getting a shot or doing something, she's really just so great at kind of managing people and keeping people's enthusiasm up and making people laugh. And I think it's part of what makes her movies really successful is you can kind of feel that infectious kind of energy in the film, even though you can't see her as I can when I'm watching it on a set. There's something like wildly exciting about Barbara playing somebody this real and this kind of opposite something we've seen her do in quite some time, and it's really, really exciting. And you need somebody that's got that kind of heavyweight presence to counterbalance it, or else the movie's not going to function. And that was what was so exciting. It's been so exciting, and I mean, I always kind of suspected it and knew it, but from the moment Seth walked into that first table read room, you could feel that here was a guy who was ready to kind of hold his own and go toe-to-toe with Barbara Streisand, which is not a common thing out of a late 20-year-old guy, and he's got that thing with her.